Hi, this is Kris Wilder, and welcome to Martial Secrets. I'm without my frequent co-host, Lawrence Kane. As I said, I'm on the road. I'm actually down in Sacramento. Just finished up a seminar down here at Cerezo's Martial Arts. And I've got Abe Cerezo, sensei here, who is the head instructor and, oddly enough, the owner, since that's what it's called. And we're going to talk a little bit about his art, his experience of being not only a martial artist, but a businessman, and how he sees his role in the community with not only his students, but the different kinds of students he has, whether they be women, young kids, older people, and so forth. So, Abe, welcome to Martial Secrets.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you very much, Kris.
So, tell me, you got your shop open there, you got your dojo open. I want to work this a little bit backwards. People will say things, how did you start in the martial arts? I want to start differently. I want to say, what's the last month been like for you?
It's been pretty slow, but we're picking up a lot because of the end of the school year for some of the children. They're trying to find something for the summer.
Ah, okay. And so, as a businessman, I mean, you got to keep the doors open and the lights on. What are some of the things you do to make that attractive to people? How do they find you?
Most of our business is from word of mouth. We have martial arts movie night where we'll play a video from a martial arts video. The last one was the Karate Kid, and we brought kids to the karate school that their friends can come for free and check us out. And we watch a movie, have a short lesson, and we hand out our cards, and kids sign up that way.
Well, on Friday night when I was in, we did a little bit of work on Friday night, and then I don't know, there was probably half a dozen or more young kids. How were they? 14? 15?
Yes, they're in their teens.
Yeah, they're in their teens, and these are young guys in their teens, and they're hanging out at the dojo. So there was a little bit of a tea ceremony, a little business, and they hung. Tell me what that's all about.
The main reason for the tea ceremony is to teach basic respect in the school. Mm-hmm. The children actually help clean the school. They spend some time together in comradeship. They spend a lot of time training pretty hard, and then we'll let them have their goofy time where they can play and try out some new techniques and just really doodle around with the martial arts.
Yeah, well, but the sense I got was that although there was still a karate school, that it had a little bit of a almost a community center to it. It's like these kids were welcome to come and stay as long as you were there.
That is true. Yeah. They can stay as long as they like.
Yeah. Now, what's your now? This isn't the only thing you do. You've got another job.
Yes, sir.
And what do you do?
I work with convicted felons and youth that are felons in a counseling center. I'm a marriage and family therapist.
So how does that shape the way that you approach, the kids, the adults? How does that shape the way that you approach your karate and the way that you run that business? It has to impact it in some way, because you didn't get into the job that you're in just for a paycheck. You got into it because you clearly wanted to, help some people.
Oh yes, sir.
So there's got to be a spillover there.
There sure is. As a matter of fact, one of the main things that we do at the karate school that I also do at the counseling center is that we spend some time just chat and talk. We hang out. We use the karate school as kind of a youth center where children and parents can get along and learn some things about how to take care of the community by taking care of themselves. When children feel good about themselves and parents see that, the parents want a little piece of the action. And so they learn how to converse appropriately with their child as well as with the community. And it's amazing. The amazing things these children do. They fundraise for things I don't even know about, but everybody's willing to help on a regular basis.
Tell me a success story without naming any names. Why don't you tell the folks that listen to this podcast, tell them a success story, so that we can kind of build on that a little bit. And,
sure.
And kind of share in that.
We have a young child that started with me when he was 4.5 years old. Mom and dad had a very difficult time with this child just because they didn't know how to be good parents. We spent a lot of time with this youngster who was having problems lashing out and being a young child without strong parenting skills.
Like 7, 8?
We're talking about 4 to 6 years of age. Okay. He's been in the school since he's 4. Now he's 14. And the success of this is that the parents got help. as well as the child.
So they went and actually sought help outside the dojo to help them become better parents. Is that?
Actually, no. They got it from the parents that are in the dojo.
Oh, right
And the
on.
parents tell them, these are some of the things that we do with our kids.
That's
Try
great.
this out.
That's great. So actually, they found a community that helped lift them up.
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, a lot of the things that the parents do, they ask them if they want to go out to coffee while the children are in class, or they bring the coffee to the school. We have a small area where parents can congregate and talk, and you can hear them talking as the children are in class. But the thing is, we have doors that we can close so they can have their private time and they can talk to the other parents about what they do to help their child either practice, do better in school, behavior at home, maybe behavior in daycare, and all those things help out. I mean, with having a whole slew of people together,
Yeah.
it works in a community setting.
Well, yeah, I noticed something that I thought that was really I thought it was very interesting. I haven't seen it done in any of the dojo that I've been to. Doing my seminars and traveling around. In my dojo, you come in. There's some benches. You can sit and you can watch. And you can also go to like any Taekwondo school, and you'll see there's a separation barrier that people can look over, and but the chairs are there, and the parents can watch and sort of like. You've actually got a more than just like a waist high barrier. You've actually got a wall that's got two doors on each side, but in that office area, you've got tables, and you got cups, and you got juice, and you got people hang out. They're like hanging out there like they would at an old coffee shop in a small community. And I think that's really cool because they get to know each other and build relationship with one another, and they know each other and they know each other's kids.
Yes.
And this is a great fiber.
It's awesome. We really love the way the dojo has gelled in the last 15 years. Some of those kids are still there, and they're becoming mentors to the children that are coming in. And having good mentor martial artists is what it's about.
I noticed you did something else too that I thought that was really fascinating, and I didn't get all of it. But in the dojo, there are framed pictures of people for kids or young people, not just kids, but adults. When I say kids, I mean like 16, 17, but adults, but it's like, here's a picture of them, and this is the day they made Shodan. And it's their date, and it's framed. I mean, it's not just a name up on a wall. It's a picture. It's framed. It's hung up on the wall. Clearly, there's some thought and effort that went into that, and so somebody can point to that and say, "Well, look, I'm not an afterthought. That's me. That's real." I thought that was really pretty significant.
It is. We like to make sure that they understand that it's a milestone, not the only milestone in their life, but we want to show that it is a major milestone for anybody to reach the rank of Shodan. And above and beyond that, we hope that they'll take that picture and that signature on the back of those pictures you may not have seen is a signature that I use on their certificate so that they can take it with them if they open their own dojo.
Ah, very good, very good. All right, so let's talk about your art a little bit. What do you do? Is it Turbo Frame Blaster Killer Karate? Is that what I saw on the wall?
Actually, it's our system is Motobuha Shitoru Karate Do.
Mm-hmm.
And as my sensei passed in 92, it was in his will that I continue to train, but make it my art. And Kuniba Sensei asked that for all of his students, but because of the different types of training that I've had, similar to you, he asked me to hybrid it, make it so that it fits me and who I teach. And the more they learn, the better they become.
How many forms do you do now? I know I have 12 that I do in Goju-Ryu. What are you looking at?
22.
I'm looking down the barrel at 22 forms.
Yes, sir.
So am I looking at Pion, Hidan,
yes.
Taikyoku? I mean, what am I looking at?
You're looking at 10 Taikyoku, and then 5 Pinan, and then the 6 soliloquies going on from there, from the Hanchis all the way to Seiyunchin.
Sure. And I've obviously I've met and trained with some of your students. That how we kind of come to this place. me being down here in Sacramento, which, by the way, has been the first day of sun that I have seen in like 40 days, since being in Seattle. But let me ask you this. When you're training an adult and they're, on the cusp of Shodan or just past their son, what are you emphasizing with them in their training? Is it an individual thing, or are you looking for power? You're looking for movement. You're looking for grace. You're looking for attitude. All of it. How does it measure out for you?
Oh, good question. I look for the whole package deal. I'm looking at how they use their martial art in their daily life. And if they use their martial art in daily life, meaning they use the basic respect, being able to open their mind to new things, and being able to open up their lives to other people, that's a major part of being a Shodan or a black belt in our world.
Sure. Being available. Being available.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good thing. About your family, is anybody in your family trained?
Oh, yes, sir. The whole family. Both my mom and dad are black belts.
Yeah.
Mom in Shorin-ryu. My father studied with Hyono Keno back in the early 40s. And my brothers and sisters and I are all black belts in different systems.
Wow. So you've got different systems. I mean, what was it? It's like, forget you, big brother. I'm going to go do this. Is that what happened?
It kind of was after a while. I stuck with Shtoryu, and my sister went to another instructor in Shtoryu, and we actually got many different forms that weren't taught in one system as the other Shtoryu.
Sure.
My brother's Jiu-Jitsu Hakoru, and his Hakoru is very clean, and we used to have some great fight sessions in the backyard because we'd say, well, this works.
Mom calls you in for dinner?
Oh, exactly. We had a lot of fun times in the backyard just tearing each other apart.
Where'd you grow up?
Well, in many different places. My father was in the military.
Military
and so,
brat, huh?
Yes, sir.
Air Force?
He was actually in the Coast Guard.
Oh, yeah, sure.
My first touch with the martial arts was in Hawaii, in Nanakuli, Hawaii.
Were you born there?
No, I was born in the States here in California.
What, Hawaii's not the States anymore?
Well, not they call that. But mainland, mainland. But went to Hawaii, and my grandfather ended up being my first, what he called sensei.
No way. That is totally cool.
Yeah, my grandfather.
So what do you recall about that? What's your memory of that?
I remember learning how to fall on the sand, and it hurt a lot. So he taught me basic tuck chin, flat back slap, and then go to the side, curl yourself in.
So he was a judoka?
He was a Shorin-ryu, but he loved to throw, and he really loved the grapple portion of it. And my brother and I would go to the beach with him every day since we lived across the street from the beach. And so we'd practice there for about maybe 2.5, 3 hours a day. We get a chance to play in the water also.
Yeah.
So as a young child, we got a chance to play, and we practiced climbing coconut trees just because the trees were at such an angle that it was really neat to work on our stances walking up the tree.
Oh, gee, that is incredible. But what a great little gift that your grandfather gave you. The seed that he planted there for you. That's impressive. Okay, so anyway, you moved back to the mainland. Did you ever wind out on the East Coast?
I ended up on the East Coast, and I studied with Tola Lewis, which is a National Karate Jiu-Jitsu union. Found out he was Shtoryu, and it was wonderful to find another Shtoryu stylist on the East Coast. Done a little bit differently, as everybody has their own flavor.
Yeah.
But within a few months, I was introduced to Kuniba, Shogo Kuniba, and he loved watching a little guy such as myself train. In his school, there were only older teens to adults in his school, and I was just about 9 at the time when I went to go train with him. Spent a long time with him doing classes on Thursdays and Saturdays, learning tea ceremony. A major piece of my development in the martial arts is the tea ceremony.
And so that's what you bring today.
Yes, sir.
With that, what you're doing there. I wondered what the origin of that was, And it was really kind of interesting because, man, those boys sat there and they were on focus. They were on point. They were good to go with that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good thing. And the other thing too is that this morning when I came in, at about 10 o'clock, getting ready to do the seminar, you were finishing up with a class, and some of those same guys that were there last night were there this morning.
Yes.
And they didn't do the wallflower thing and walked over. It's like, hey, good morning, Sensei. Shook my hand, gave me a little bow. It's like that's really pretty impressive for a kid of 15, 16.
Yes.
To actually, instead of just hang out on the wall and just pretend that they're not being seen or whatever, because it's just tough, to actually step forward and go, good to see you again.
It's funny you had mentioned that. We consider that a regular activity in our school, to introduce yourself to people that come into the school. It helps them gain confidence in themselves. It allows them to later days to be able to introduce themselves to maybe a president of a college, or maybe get a good job interview by having good social skills.
Sure. Look somebody in the eye and shake their hand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you that to some degree, I think that's a lost art, my friend. I really do. Sometimes, stare at my shoes and go,
I'm really proud of those youngsters, because they spend a lot of time working respect. And it's very difficult, because some people believe that respect is to hurt another person to gain it. And to not lift a finger and to gain respect is very powerful to these children.
Yeah. So you're doing some kabuto.
Okay.
What else? I know you're running a kick class in there too. Now,
Yes.
tell me about that kick class, because you were talking about it a little bit, and I caught some of the conversation. It sounds like you're making some difference in some people's lives there too.
Yes, sir. In the evening times, later evenings, I have a class of kickboxers. We do a cardio kickboxing class. We call it power kicks. And when this actually happened a long time ago, I got into a nasty accident where they had to use steroids to keep me from from cracking very much. My muscles weren't really holding me together on my chest plate. And so the doctors told me that I'm going to gain a little bit of weight, and I ended up ballooning up 50, 60 pounds. I wanted to get rid of the weight, and so I watched my friend Billy Blanks do his Taibo, and I'm thinking, wow, this would be really fun to do if I could just move around a little bit better. And so I spent some time and developed it with Mr. Blanks, and he told me to cater it to my own needs. And so the power kicks became part of our basic curriculum. And so women and men heard about it in our community, and a person from the Parks and Recreation thought it was a really neat idea. And so she put it out, and from that point on, it took off. We have people coming in, and we have them write their goals the first day they come in, and it could be weight goals, inches goals. It could be being able to run after somebody, or whatever, heart rate,
yeah.
The whole 9 yards, and they work them.
What do you say to the quote unquote traditional martial artist that says, well, that's not really martial arts, what you're doing there? What do you say to them?
I would disagree highly. The number one item in the martial arts, I believe, is respecting themselves and others.
Yeah,
and as we grow the martial arts, people who take my kickboxing class, they've actually bled into, if you don't mind the pun, coming into the martial arts classes.
Yeah.
And they do wonderful work. I mean, they get the base movements. Now they have their heart rate up. They're able to keep up with us. And then they come into the karate classes and do a wonderful job.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know who I'm talking about. I mean, there's people that say, well, this is this, and it should be pure, and this should never cross the line. But I think what you're talking about is not the mechanics, not the techniques, but actually the heart of the individual.
Yes, sir.
And how that moves across time.
Yes, and to speak to the heart of people, when people have such misconceptions of the martial arts, is something that we feel really blessed to be doing. I mean, a lot of people don't see that in the martial arts at all. They just see the punching and kicking and hurting one another, when they don't see the healthy portions of it. They don't see the part that a person's gaining confidence in it. They say the words confidence, the people who don't believe in the martial arts, but when they really see it in action, where a person's able to say, I don't really need to fight, I'm backing away. That's power in of itself.
Okay, now, and I don't want to, Yeah, I don't want to cut that short, but let's talk about you getting stabbed.
All right.
Let's jump to that.
All righty.
Yeah, the betterment of people in the community. And by the way, you got stabbed, so you got to tell me that story.
A while back, I helped a place that was getting started. It was a bar and a grill, and I was helping out some friends of mine who was running it, but they didn't have anybody to work the door, and they'd have sometimes the occasional drunkard come in, and this person.
So this wasn't like a full-on bar like Roadhouse. This was
no. This was actually a cafe type bar. They had their license to serve liquor,
okay.
and they just wanted me to take a look at the door and help people make their way out if they needed help their way out. And it was just me at the time and the owner, which is another friend of mine, a martial artist. But I guess he was having a little bit too much fun at the front counter, and he may have already been drinking before he came in. I didn't recognize it. And before I knew it, I asked him if he would like to come outside and get some air, and he turned around and boom, right into my second rib cage.
just stuck.
Just stuck me.
What do you use? Didn't
see it coming. He used one of the knives that they used to cut open the. They had oysters, so they had these.
Oh no! So he used it.
It was blunt, and it went right in. It's
no way!
That was easy to cut.
He used an oyster knife.
He used an oyster knife.
Wow! So you cut like butter, huh?
I cut like butter. I'm soft. It must be really soft.
Let me ask you this. So, how does anybody in the Sacramento area get a hold of your school? Because I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Well, thank you.
I think you're doing good stuff. And I was driving back with Ivan, and we were talking about the dojo. And I said, "No, man, I like that dojo a lot." And I said, because I can see Sensei Cerezo. I can see his heart. It's good heart, and that's where you're going to train. That's where you're going to have longevity of the art, as opposed to just I'm a fire breathing. Tear down the wall, bad mo kind of guy, and going like the bad sensei in Karate Kid, So I'm saying if you're in Sacramento and you're looking for an art, go see you. So how do I find you?
Sure, you can give me a call at 916-395-4116.
Wait, you got to say that again. You got to say it more slowly.
Okay, area code 916-395-4116.
Now I'm going to get your main office there at the dojo, right?
Yes, you will.
Okay, and if you're not there, I should leave a message because you'll call me back, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't doubt it. So do you have a website? Or,
yes, I do.
Okay.
It's cerezosmartialarts.com.
Okay, you got to spell Cerezos for people because they're going to put an S in it.
Oh, you got it. CEREZOS, then martial arts.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that if I lived in the Sacramento area and I was looking for a place for my kid, this would be it. There's no question. I love the energy you got going in there. I like the attitude. Good students, and when you look at the students, you can see the instructor, and you got good students, so it means good instructor.
Yes.
And I like dojos that laugh easily. That's a good thing. So listen, Sensei Eva Cerezo, thank you so much for having me in and letting me be part of your dojo. Thanks for being on the podcast, and sincerely, thanks for all you do in your community, man. You're the kind of people that we need more of, that take the time, that make the effort, that stay a little longer and come a little earlier. So I appreciate you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Be well. Hi, this is Kris Wilder. Arranging a martial arts seminar can seem kind of daunting, but to arrange a seminar with me, all you need to do is email me at thedojo@quidnunc.net. That's thedojo@quidnunc.net. I'll give you a call. We'll discuss your individual needs and the subject matter you want to have covered. Once a time and date are agreed upon, you'll get your promotional package. It contains electronic communications, flyers, brochures, and suggested copy. And most importantly, a proven communication timeline to help ensure a successful turnout and showcase your school. Bottom line, you succeed and we all succeed. I look forward to hearing from you.